Yeah, good morning. It is Wednesday, April 19th. Man, this month is flying by. Yesterday was one of those days where I was busy, but I didn't accomplish anything. You ever have those kind of days? Anyways, I'm sure you want to see my beautiful face, so let's get rid of that. Good morning. I'm feeling pretty good. Physically, mentally, I'm probably a little off, but that's par for the course, right? So, I hope you all are doing well. I haven't really had a whole lot of experience booking loads this week. I tried Monday and I came across a problem. So, and it just kind of shows you how the game is changing right before your eyes. What it was is there's some brokers that won't book if they figure out that there's a brokerage tied to you. So you got to be careful of that. If you're one of these people that when brokers were screaming, "Go get your own broker authority," and you went and did that, that could be affecting your business right now because they are, even though brokerage hasn't moved anything, they're like they're all paranoid and nervous and really cracking down on the double brokering. So, not that we would ever do anything like that, but they don't know that. They don't know what we do, right? So, just be aware of that. And yeah, so but we solved that problem, I think, and so we should be okay. But I think really it was an excuse not to come up on some money. What it was a 9 stop load going to Vegas, and I wouldn't even looked at that. But the driver called me and was like, "Hey, see what you can do on this. I'll do it for X amount." So I went $200 above X amount, hoping that they would land where I needed them, and they were at 900 for 9 stops. $900. And so they came up $100. I wanted them a little bit higher, and I noticed they were having trouble moving it because, again, 9 stops, tailgate, kind of a deal. And oh yeah, we can't use you because you got a brokerage. Even though, like, I've used this broker many, many times in the past, so I think they're just using an excuse. But they could have had a change in their policy too, so we don't know. So hopefully that won't become a problem in the future. But anyways, good morning. It is tough. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It is tough out there, and you just gotta survive the rain, survive the storm, and you'll be fine. I posted on the community page. I posted a click and go that was at 750 for loads that used to pay anywhere between 900 and 1500. 1500 during the peak. 1,000 was about the average. It always came out to about $2 a mile. And it used to be a great way for me to get out of Springfield. And, back when Indiana was a good spot. So we're going to go over some rates. We're going to go over some volumes. Volumes is the tricky part. Volumes, that's where volumes, I'd follow volumes, forget the rate, follow the volumes. Anyways, we got our Snorelord mug because I'm a narcissist. And I got to have things with my name on it all over the place. So hope you do too, right? So let's see, just reading the comment. I apologize. CB, what's up, man? You're always the first one in here. I appreciate you. Schmitty Trucking, good morning. Notification for you live. Wow, yeah, there you go, man. There you go. This Trucking Life, what's up? Stuart the Hobby Trucker, good morning. We're all hobby truckers at this point, right? My name is Nobody. Good morning. Hey, give me a call later, Mr. Nobody. I want to touch base with you on what's going on. Mike Nine Toes, good morning. Jose, good morning. Desiroki Pam, good morning. Talked to your boss yesterday. Sounds like you're doing all right. WT Johnson, good morning. Rockin' Robin Truckin', good morning from Boise, Idaho, heading to unload at a Costco store. I love Costco. I love it as a driver. I love it as a consumer. We're due for a Costco trip. I love their meat section. They have some healthy choices. I definitely am a fan of Costco, and they're the most efficient unloading company out there as far as the big box retailers. You know, a lot of the others can take a lesson from Costco. It's so automated, and it's on it. I can book a load in confidence, knowing that nothing will happen at a Costco. Gary, good morning, sir. As far as rates, they are amazing for those who keep their head in the sand and don't understand our industry. That's what I was laughing at a minute ago. Yes, you cannot have your head in the sand. And if anybody's like, I don't know why everybody's complaining about rates, blah, blah, blah. Here's the deal. If you're used to something and something changes, people are going to complain about that. You complain, not you, Gary, but anybody complaining about people complaining, that doesn't help. It just doesn't, right? It just shows that you're either ignoring the fact, or you're not sympathetic to the fact, or you're insulated because you're doing something that doesn't count on the rates or supply and demand and all that. So social media is a nasty place. I was reading Facebook. Oh my gosh. I was on the Rate Per Mile Masters page, and there was a Chad Boblet had posted how the DAT trend line showed a step down, right? This one guy gets on there and he's talking about, it's the brokers, and it's just, yeah, it was crazy. And it was just crazy how people don't understand supply and demand. And what was interesting is the responses. And that's where you see the real meat and potatoes of the sandwich there, because it just shows you that where everybody's heads are at, whether they understand, whether they're right or wrong. To me, that doesn't matter. I know why rates come down. I know what some brokers are taking and some brokers are giving. I know what's going on there. And it's not worth it to go in these chats and argue with these people. You're not going to convince anybody in these echo chambers. You're not going to sit there and all of a sudden and somebody's going to get this epiphany simply because you made a comment. It's only if people ask you specifically, like if they go, "Hey, what is your opinion on why these rates are blah 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 blah," and you go, "Okay, well, the reason is this, this, and this, and this, in my opinion," and you have to add that, in my opinion. And if people are willing to look outside of the box, outside of their realm, and open to different theories, then maybe they can learn. But beyond that, shouting at people that are already struggling and hurting and coming from a place of pain, that doesn't do you any good. And that's, to me, that's the philosophy, right? That's I'm not going to sit here and tell you how much of an idiot you are if you believe one thing or another. That because if I'm right, you're going to hate me. If I'm wrong, you're going to hate me. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation. And so a lot of these conversations, a lot of these arguments that go on Facebook, man, I just observe, because my 2 cents is not going to add any insight. Now, if someone says, "Hey, this and this brokerage did this and this," I might go, "Well, yeah, my experience has been this," and that's it. Or if someone asks a question, what's the best way to do this? I might say, well, here's what I do. But people are too rude, right? I saw a meme today that really struck me, right? Um, where is it? It was a quote from Eric Hoffer, which I have no idea who that is. Rudeness is the weak man's imitation of strength. Boy, how many people do you know that describes? The rudeness of the weak man's imitation is the weak. Sorry, let me. Rudeness is the weak man's imitation of strength. Does no good to be rude. Sometimes you got to be like upfront. You got to be honest. Sometimes you just got to go, look, man, you ain't going to make it. And here's why. That's different than going, dude, you're an idiot. You might as well just quit. You don't know what you're doing. There's two that's two different ways, right? And it's not that I'm protecting your feelings. It's honesty. And if it hurts, if that honesty hurts, there's a reason. So if you're not rude, if you're not um rude, if I'm being redundant here, if you're not rude about it, they're more than likely going to hear the message. There are some people that don't get that message. They don't get that point. If I tell you, hey, you're wrong about this and here's why, they're more likely to listen than if you go, dude, you're an idiot. This is why you're wrong. Get your act together. I'm right. You're an idiot. You know, if you keep doing that, people don't listen. People will just shut you out, or they'll get angry and they'll get an argument. Now you're shouting at each other and nothing gets accomplished. And that's why social media is going to be the downfall of Western civilization. SST, what's up? Tip, put the brokerage under a different address to the carrier. We've already made the steps to do what we need to do, Stuart. I appreciate your advice. CDN, what's up? Good morning from Richmond, Indiana, says Greg Zimmer. Nice truck. Nice truck in that picture. As the great Struggle Simpson said, life is hard and the world is mean. Sturgill. I wonder what that Struggle Simpson meant. I thought maybe that was somebody's nickname. We can't really blame a broker for not wanting to do business with the carrier of the brokerage either. And in the same sentence, bitch about double brokering and no one do anything about it. I don't blame the broker at all. It just shows you the gravity of the situation. And DIY did a video yesterday on the steps that you can take when it comes to the double brokering. He had some logical steps there. And you know, I was talking to Shannon Thomas, and she's primarily using one or two brokers. She's like, I'm not doing credit checks. I'm not doing any of that. That's my time is worth something. So she's using her broker as pretty much as a dispatcher. And if it's making money, which it seems to be working, why fix something that's not broken? I picked up in the caves in Springfield yesterday for the first time. That was neat. Cool deal. WT, you're blessed because that's one of the better caves. If you ever do geospace in Kansas City, those are not fun. I don't like geospace. In fact, Schneider, they told us that we can only drop and hook there they've got like a staging yard on top there. But yeah, the Springfield caves aren't bad. You probably either picked up in building 9 or building 14. If I had to get, unless you're reefer, then you're probably on the other side. So, Wheel Burner, good morning. Finally made it on time, kind of. I was late, man. I didn't start till 7:08. I was talking to Pigtail, and I got a little bit of a late start, but Pigtail needed the conversation, so we talked. Well, brokers could always operate their own trucks. Touche. I'm insulated. The only rate I can complain about is my hourly rate. There you go. Grafton, what's up? Don saying hi to Burner. Mr. Charles, good morning. By the way, they're just over 3 weeks old now when we meet at the border, so you can take these off my hands. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Gotta love the mute button. I have found that complaining solves nothing and only sours my mood, so I try to avoid it and try to help others navigate around it. CB, that's the best approach that you can do. That's it. I can complain about brokers and rates and trucks and everything else, but what good does that do you, right? So, good morning from Noonan, Georgia. We've got our first mile walk in waiting on the door. Good deal, Shannon. I'm glad you survived the night where you were parked, but I'm glad you're fine. Nomadic Brit, morning. All heading to Chicago to get trailers steamed. Then on to Iowa. Good deal, man. Good deal. Dutch meat and potatoes of the sandwich. That's a new one to me, too. Yeah. I like to say weird things that are kind of my own. Mrs. A. Can you guys guess who that is? It is. It is a new one. Who's putting potatoes in their sandwich? Who's even eating sandwiches? You got to eat just the meat. Building 11. Yep. Okay. Been there. Been there, done that. Dennis, what's up? So, anyways, we can look at the 123 low board here and see what's going on in the world of freight and what rates. I'm not only going to do the market map, but we're going to go look at some states and what's coming out of them and all that. So, let me remove that. Share the screen. All right, there's the reefer map right there. So, look at Mississippi light up. So let's take a look. When I see a state go from yellow to green, or if I see a state go from green to red, I want to see what's going on over there. I want to find out the why. Sorry I didn't get back with you yesterday, Steve. Romeland Services. Not sure who you are, but is that? Okay. I think I know who you are. That's fine. That's fine, Bob. Just give me a call today. That's fine. After the feed, if you want. All right, we got Axle Logistics. We got Pearl, Mississippi to Brownsville. So let's filter this by rate. The overall revenue will give you usually the long haul, and then the rate per mile, the highest rate per mile will give you the short haul. Looks like they want $32.71 a mile to go to California, which actually isn't bad. Here we go. Fifth wheel freight's got $215. Actually, I forget. This is reefer. Never mind. 2,400. Probably get them up a little bit. And here's the thing. It's catfish. So here's the thing. I had a buddy of mine that got 35 to go from point A to point B, and the DAT was only showing 31 for the average and 29 for the low. So, and 33 for the high. So there are, and it was a one and done. So I mean, you just gotta dig. You just gotta be persistent. You just gotta hold your line. You know, there's a balance point where you hold the line or you just gotta move the truck. And you don't want to take a ridiculous low rate, but you don't want to sit there and sit for 3 days waiting for the high rate per mile. That's never going to come. Now, if that persistence and waiting actually brought fruit, then 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 it just depends on how you want to run. But in my opinion, I'm still able to negotiate some decent rates. So it just depends on where you're at, what area you're in. So, anyways, and here's the thing: this is catfish coming out of Mississippi, so this might be something that you can latch on to. Call this broker and say, how many of these you got? I live in Mississippi. Um, so it looks like the highest rates are going to Pennsylvania, Florida. Here we go, 276 a mile, 1,700 to go from Hattiesburg to Tampa. But then you got to look at what's coming out of Tampa. Well, Florida's green. It's actually even showing good on DAT as well. So let's take a look at the rates there. Look at this. Cargo Chief shows this around 2750, 448 a mile. Florida's one of the there's certain states you go into that I have no problem asking above the average. Way above the average. Like I'm talking like a lot. Because you can always justify it. Well, I'm going to take a hit coming out of there. So it's easier to ask for $4 a mile to go into Florida than it is to go into Chicago. But you got to know your cost. I mean, if you know your cost, then you're probably not asking for $4. So not a whole lot coming out of Florida. Jacksonville. There's some intrastate Florida, which you can do. Here you go, Miami to the Bronx. If that floats your boat. Vineland, New Jersey. Let's take a look at that one. Quite a bit of a range here. So they don't have a rate posted, but rate checks at 1953, but cargo cheese at 2639, and the high's been 3449. I'm gonna guess that was probably a multi-stop load that created that. These are averages, people. That means at one time a load was that high, and then at one time a load was that low. So let's take a look at Texas here for reefer. Let's take a look at the interstate loads. See what those are paying. Ouch. Dallas to San Antonio, $1.77 posted. Here we go, 5 cents a mile on this one. There you go. There's the bottom. Let's see how many miles. 18. I doubt it's. I doubt it's. They're paying $1 for that. Again. Here we go. Laredo to Garland, 1,500, 338, 444 miles. Little heavy for a reefer. 44, 118. So it depends on. They're at 338 a mile, so 1,500 for a day run. That might be good, depending on what's coming out of Garland. Let's see. With the short haul stuff, you got to look at the rate per day, anyways. You can sit there and brag about the rate per mile, but that doesn't do you any good. So a lot of USA Truck, Tyler to Brookshire. I bet you anything this is going to be, well, Tyler, that's good. I don't know what that could be water. Oh, plants. Okay, I was wrong. But this is reefer, so, it just depends. $3.53 a mile. Marshall, Missouri to Jackson. Any takers, catches? There's 5 total stops. LOL. $200 a stop. Good morning, Jeffrey Houlihan. Great to be here live and in color. I've been noticing a lot of foliage and mulch moving around here in Florida. Yep. Mulch. It's mulch season for sure. And it's gone. No, I didn't take it. It does, like I said, man, loads. Here's the thing. When it's low volumes like that, it gets to the point where you don't even care what the price is. You just want somebody to answer the phone and a load to be there when you call on it. That's probably the most frustrating thing I deal with is 20 emails and the loads are gone. That's why I believe in booking ahead, just for to help mitigate the headache that causes trying to book at the last minute. Now, a lot of times you don't have a choice because your load canceled, or you know you're you had a truck breakdown or something that you had to deal with. The Bronx isn't bad if you're going in at 3 a.m. and you're out before 7. Yeah, my dad used to go to Hunts Point all the time. Pigtail, what's up? Hey, I didn't like how our last conversation ended, so give me a call later, please. 53805 shown on my end for the Fort Worth to Roanoke, Texas load. That's for van. This was reefer, so or is that for reefer? I don't know. Let's do van here. About the same stage. It's interesting. This is what I like about our fleet over here at Like Trucking, is that I look at the loads, I look at the load boards, I look and see where the volumes are, and when I look at our Samsara, I see that's where all the trucks are at. And so it's interesting to see the information as it's playing out. And that's why I believe that the tools are a great thing, because obviously these other drivers are seeing the same thing or using the same tools, so therefore they're flocking to these areas. Not everybody. I think there might be 4 people that like trucking that actually watch my channel, and so it's not like I'm telling them what to do, but they're just figuring it out on their own. And it's interesting to see that the green states on here correlates with where all of our trucks are at. Well, except for California and Texas, we don't have anybody out there right now. But beyond that, everybody's where the green is. So, but anyways, this is Van. So let's take a look at Missouri. See what kind of rates I can get if I wanted to work today. Elsinore to Indianola, that's going to be Dollar General. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be mulch. Oh, grocery products. I was wrong. I've never picked up an Elsinore. All I know is that there's not much out there. There's a nice truck stop out there, but that's it. They're at 650, 206 a mile. Let's see. Webb City to Okmulgee. This is an easy run. This is Coke. That's going to be juice going to Coke. Yep, 43,753 sports drinks. And then usually you can find stuff coming right out of Okmulgee or Fort Gibson or Pryor that comes right back to Missouri. Let's take a look at that. Yep, Tulsa. Oh, and Tulsa, Jenks. That's going to be paper. Tulsa, going everywhere. So there was 3 going right back to Webb City. Let's take a look at those. Webb City is Joplin, by the way, if you didn't know. Fort Smith to Springfield. I got 2 of those. 89-mile deadhead. Packaging products. I know what this is. So it's going to be packaging, probably going to craft. So usually there's more of the beverages that come out of those areas, but a lot of the local carriers have probably snagged that all up. They were answering those emails that the brokers were given 3 months ago, trying to secure carriers that they don't want to post for. St. Louis to Oak City. Surge has all the beer, right? They have all the beer coming out of St. Louis. Riverside, this is Kansas City. 20,000 pounds pet products. Going to Vandalia, Ohio. Yeah, I know where that's going. Let's see. Let's take a look at the St. Louis to Oak City. Beer. And I think Oklahoma City, you got to be careful with the beer permits. I think. It's been a minute since I've looked at that. Here we go. Glasgow, Missouri to Traverse City, Michigan. They've actually got a decent rate on that, to be honest with you. Michigan market doesn't seem to be too bad. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, 55 loads, Michigan. 64 right out of Traverse City area. Take a look at those. Only Illinois, that's going to be Walmart, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Indianapolis. So if you wanted to run just regional, that'd be a good one. A lot of stuff going to Maryland. Here's one, Bay City to Rochester. Here's one going to Georgia, $1.72 a mile. So they're paying to go into the Northeast. Obviously, those are the highest paying loads going into Maryland. And here's one going right back to Kansas City area. Blue Springs, I think that's Kansas City area. So as long as it could take an electric ELD, man, you're good to go. As long as it's got a computer. So on that mechanic. Pneumatic Brit, I'm spending more time in the north and northeast because our rates and the benefits of an old contract, so no tolls in those areas. Yeah, that was the beauty of my Schneider contract, was the only tolls I had to pay for were Ohio and Indiana. And their logic was it was easy to get around those tolls, but Pennsylvania, that was worth a lot of money. I mean, you can easily rack up $250, $300 in Pennsylvania if you're not careful in one trip. Good morning, Twitch. How's it going? So, anyways, let's take a look at flatbed stuff. Actually, no, let's. Oh, here's Springfield to College Park. They're at $1.95. Grocery item. So that's probably Walmart, I think. Walmart or Sam's. It's probably going to be Kraft, so that might be a cave load. West Plains, this is going to be either wood or charcoal. Yep, charcoal and bags on pallets. So see how well I know my area, guys? It's important to know your areas, especially if you want to be home a lot. It's important to know what's coming in and out. I still got my notifications like I'm running my truck. I want to see what's coming in and out of here. I want to see what the pricing is. It's probably going to be a grocery receiver there in Houston, so buyer beware on that one. This right here is what's kind of got me. It's like this is a short haul run. That rate per mile is actually pretty low. It's going to be beer. 1 day run. Cargo chief has showed 936. But you got to understand a lot of these brokers are cutting their rates down as well because from pressure of the shippers, they want to get these customers. They want to secure them because they're fighting for volume too. Here we go. Hazelwood, Missouri to Morris, Illinois. This is going to be Coca-Cola. Yeah, a lot of varying prices there. There's no number posted. Let's take a look what's coming out of Morris though. There's 29 going right back to Hazelwood. Marcel's to St. Louis, Jacksonville, Edwardsville, Mattoon. Mattoon is going to be Rule King. Let's take a look at that one. $533, $599. How many miles is this? 161. Might be able to get them up to 600. Cargo Chief kind of shows that. Here we go. Indy to Columbia. This is probably going to be something going to Menards. Maybe. Protective equipment required at shipping facility or driver will be rejected. Loads must be properly sealed and secured prior to leaving the shipper. All seals must be applied. So, when are they going to spend money on the roads in Michigan? Pneumatic Brit, how long you been over here in our beautiful country? How long? How long, Pneumatic Brit? How long has Michigan been bad? Come on now. They don't fix roads in Michigan. What are you talking about? That's silly talk. I bought a brand new trailer from Michigan, and right away I needed a new alignment. All right, let's take a look at Ohio. Sorry. Michigan has been messed up for at least 30 years that I know of. It's like Pennsylvania. I did a 3-year stint between loads going up to Carlisle. I was like, wow, construction is still bad. It's like they've been working on that since the 1700s. Michigan's no different. All the money went overseas because all the factories left. That's why Michigan has no money. Let's see. Columbus to Chesterfield, Edge Logistics picking up tomorrow. No posted rate. Looking anywhere between 557 and 728, 783 for 223 miles. Let's see. Let's do the highest rate. Let's see what the highest paying load in Ohio is right now. Mention that it's going out west. Groveport to Reno, $1.96 a mile, $4,300. Rate check shown at 38. So 42 to go out to Salt Lake. Farmington, New Mexico. Chillicothe. See, if you want to go west from the Midwest or from the East, that is no problem. No problem at all. Problem is, what are you going to get out? So let's say you take this SRAM logistics load, Cleveland to Las Vegas, 7,000 pounds fixtures. Meanwhile, Cargo Chief is showing 34, so you can get them up a little bit on that, I believe. And you need to, because look at the volumes here, people. There's only one load coming out of Las Vegas going to anywhere. This is Las Vegas, New Mexico, by the way. Don't let the broker tell you it's Las Vegas, Nevada. Albuquerque to El Paso. Which that load there, that's usually the deadhead is when you deliver Albuquerque, is you're going to El Paso. New Mexico's never been. The only time New Mexico is good is during pumpkin season. You might be able to find something out of there, but then Holland Pumpkins is a whole different ball game. Let's see. A lot of stuff going to New Mexico there. Let's do this Franklin, Ohio to Phoenix. Shoot, that don't pick up till next Tuesday. Let's take a look at that. See, they're at 28.92. Cargo Chief showing 37. Look how many loads, though. Nothing coming out of Phoenix on the 123 low board here. So, yeah, you can go out west all you want, but, man, bunch of $1.28s going to California. Now, the railroads are all screwed up. I think that's why I'm seeing a lot of West Coast stuff, a lot of cross country stuff. But it's also stuff that other carriers don't want to do or can't do. So that's why there's this abundance of freight going west. Let's take a look at Arizona. Van coming out of Arizona. Worldwide's got Goodyear to Atala, Alabama. It's actually not a bad rate for Phoenix, from what I'm seeing. Probably get them up a little bit more. Everything else is here we go. Here's Waddell, Arizona to Akini, Iowa. They got it posted for $1.08 a mile. Meanwhile, Cargo Chief is showing $1.79. Rate checks at $24.74. So they're low. It's a plate trailer, so this is gonna be empty cans. Yep. So those are usually the best paying loads coming out of Arizona and Colorado, or not best. Well, used to be best paying loads. They're empty cans, but you need a plate trailer for that. I can never do those because I don't have a plate trailer. Phoenix to Michigan. Let's take a look at that one. No posted rate. 1,936 miles. Decent area to land in. Yeah, there's 286 loads coming out of Jenison. 92 Michigan to anywhere. So depending on what the rate you can get out there, you could probably do pretty good with that load. A lot of stuff going to Cali. Here we go, Tucson to Plano, Illinois. 2350. They're at $1.39 a mile. 8,000 pounds. Yeah, that's what we got. Let's see. Let's do flatbed. Flatbed and step deck. We'll throw that on there. Twitch, that's funny. Sad, but funny. Obviously, I'm not on the spot market, but what you're seeing with rates and lows, is this just a normal cycle? Yes and no. Part of it is normal because of the capacity, but the other part is because of a recession. I don't care what all the media tells you. I don't care what the press is saying. I don't care what the president is saying. We are in a recession. We are the canary in the coal mine. We are in the canary in the coal mine when things are good, and we are the canary in the coal mine when things are bad. That's what trucking has always been. It's always been, stuff what we see a year before is what the rest of the country starts seeing, and now they don't want to admit it because they don't want to create panic. They want to keep consumer confidence up, and they want people, because people still have credit cards, so they're going to spend money on them. So, but the reality is that stuff isn't moving. There's a lot of lead time on this stuff. Tender rejections are the lowest they've been in a long time, and but they're still extending credit. I mean, I was still able to sell a house in this market, or not market, but in this economy. So I mean, you gotta. So there are some things where it's normal, and there are some things that goes beyond the normal, and that's just what we're dealing with. So one of the tips I have for people is talk to the people that have been through a down market before, and then talk to the people that have been through a recession before. Talk to the people that were owner ops back in 2008, 2009. Talk to those people. Look at the companies that were around then that are still around now, small or large, and figure out what they've done. it's easy to dismiss Schneider's, or JB Hunt because they do this, this, and this because they're that big. But then look at the small aspects of what they do as well. And CDN and I were having this conversation the other day. We both believe that one truck operations are going to really struggle the hardest right now. Not because of, not just because of the rates, but because of what the brokers are doing, what the government is doing, what brokerages are, the policies that they're implementing. They're trying to reduce their liability as far as when things go wrong. If they have a lot of high value loads, they're not going to put that on the spot market. The AI pricing, the computer generated, there's even computer generated dispatch. The algorithms, the numbers that tell you that there's going to be, exactly an influx of trucks in Atlanta at this and this time on this and this day. If their software can tap into those resources, then that's going to be a big battle for a lot of people. You could sit there and say, well, the Atlanta market looks good right now, but what time of day? And I've noticed that this is not just me talking out of my butt. I've noticed that. There are certain times of the day and certain times of the week that I have no leverage. They are not budging on anything. And so I look at it like, okay, if it's Friday afternoon, if I don't have a truck booked by Friday afternoon, they're going to sit probably most of the weekend. Luckily, that hasn't happened yet to me, but that's how bad it gets. You can call a broker and kind of feel them out where they're at money wise. But there are times when they're just like, nope, sorry. This load can, if all these people saying let it sit on the dock, guess what? It'll sit. They don't care. And that's, and FreightWaves just talk about lead times. They're just, oh, well, we'll just ship it on Wednesday. We don't care. Instead of Monday. And that's where a lot of people get discouraged about booking ahead because, what does the broker tell you? Well, we've got a lot of time on this, so we can afford to let it sit for a couple of days and get our rate to where we need it. So the trick is finding the brokers that aren't doing that, or find the freight that has to move regardless. Like a lot of times, like if you're hauling charcoal right now, they're not urgent to move that, but they're probably less likely to let that go to the last minute because it's going to Walmart, because it's going to Dollar General. Now, something for a specific holiday like Memorial Day, what I've noticed over the last 10 years is that Christmas freight starts shipping in like as early as August and September now. If it's non-perishable, they're sending that now. If it's frozen, processed, they're shipping that, pretty early, like 3 and 4 and 5 months early. Because nobody wants to be caught with their pants down like they did during the shutdowns. And if a kinetic war is coming, people definitely want their warehouses full. Because who knows what that will do to disrupt the logistics industry. Dutch, yes, I do. So I'm looking for my cup of coffee. It's right in front of me. Now, is it time to panic? No. If you see a low for a ridiculously low rate, Don't call on it. Don't move it. Unless it's strategic to move it. Unless it gets you to a better area without deadheading. Unless it's your only load home and you have to go home. And look, I talked to somebody that's on a major contract with a major carrier who can't get a break. He's moving. He can't even get home. So there's freight out there, but you're just going to have to sort through it a little bit more. Rockin' Robin says, I'm seeing a loss of discounts all of a sudden on my fuel cards, even Mudflap. Just me? No. I talked to somebody that has Nastic and they were doing the same thing. There's no it's when it comes to the fuel, it's almost hopeless as far as trying to predict what's going to happen with fuel. I actually heard someone say that they want fuel to go up so the rates will go up, and I'm just like, no, that's not how it's going to work. Trust me on that. It helps the people that get fuel surcharge. It helps those people, but if you're Joe Schmo calling TQ on a load, then it ain't going to do squat for you. So, anyways, look, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but this is the market that we're in, and this is what we got to deal with. And I'm more focused on the bigger picture. Meanwhile, I'm going to be up to 4 drivers next week on the dispatch. So I have no choice but to figure this out if that's what I want to do. And that the drivers that sign on with Like Trucking or that sign on with our dispatch service, hopefully they got things figured out. If not, I'll help you figure it out. Our drivers are. They're following where the green states are. My comment on van, does that make sense? Oh wait, let me I'm led to believe on our van side that because lead times are getting pushed out, that allows Schneider to retain more loads. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. No, FreightWaves has talked about that. So here's how tender rejections work. Schneider has 10 loads with their contract with their shipper, and then they go, well, we can only cover 5. So they put the other 5 on the spot, right? Or the shipper puts the other 5 on the spot. The shipper goes, hey, Schneider, how many of these loads can you cover? And Schneider goes, we can cover X amount. But now the conversation is, hey, Schneider, we've got 10 loads. How many can you cover? Well, we can only do 5. Well, what if we gave you 2 weeks to do it? Oh, then we can cover all of them. Bring it on. That's why mega carriers are still busy, and the tender rejections are getting low. That's how that works. Now, that's a very simplified version, but that's essentially the gist of it. So those lead times in van, it's a little bit harder to do that in the reefer world unless it's frozen. But I talked to several reefer drivers, and their warehouses are full as well. Produce is the only thing with a little bit of urgency right now. And even then, a lot of these carriers have gobbled that up because they got to keep their trucks moving. Prime has a salesperson that can go in to an agricultural shipper and say, we'll cover these. No need to go on the spot. Because they have lease operators that they have to allow them to pay for their trucks. So, I mean, again, I'm simplifying everything like as simple as I can get it. I know there's more complexities to it, but that's how you have to look at it sometimes. You just have to simplify it, figure it out, and go from there. And if you catch yourself saying, I don't understand, figure out why. I don't understand why drivers are doing this. I don't understand why brokers are doing this. Well, then go to understand. Figure it out. Because when you figure it out, then you have one up on the person that refuses to figure it out. Any advantage you can get right now is key. And I don't care if you're a truck driver, owner, company, not even trucking, watching my channel because you think I'm cool or you think I'm an idiot. Either way, figure it out. If there's something that you don't understand, figure it out. You may not like the answer, but at least now you know, and then you can make the next step in solving the problem if it's a problem to solve, if it can be solved. If it can't be solved, then you either leave the situation or you recognize what you can or can't control and then work on that. And sometimes the only thing you can control is yourself and your own reaction. Yeah, rates are not tied to fuel prices at all. Jason, what's up, man? So, anyways, that's enough of that. Look, there's still money to be made. We have 20 drivers doing it here at Like Trucking. And, is it tough right now? Yes. Do I get phone calls from a couple of them going, dude, what's up with this? Absolutely. But that's what we're here for. Sometimes you just need a calm head to tell you, hey, just put your truck here and here. And this is what to expect when you go over here. CDN says, great explanation. Well, thank you, CDN. That is a compliment from you. Because I feel like I'm horrible at explaining things. I know it's caused arguments with people because I have trouble explaining what I mean. I know what I mean in my head, but as far as I know, I just sometimes I have to simplify things for myself, and that's how I explain it. Because if I don't, then I end up talking in circles, and people are looking at me funny, like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" So, good morning. I am late, says Josh the vegan. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys. Please subscribe to my Snorelord OG channel. I been on a health kick and a health journey, I guess, instead of a kick. And the fasting's going great. I downloaded one of those pedometers you put on your phone, and so I'm starting to track how many steps I make. If I'm on the phone for a while and I'm not trying to book loads, I'll be outside walking around in circles or whatever. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll be going live at 7 a.m. on the small channel, talking about walk. I'll basically be on a walk, and we're going to talk about. We can talk about whatever. It doesn't have to be health. I know a lot of people avoid that word. And I got some positive feedback from that, so I'm going to try to do that more. I need to build up that small channel. I need an audience there for what I need to talk about over there. So it's non-trucking related. So, anyways, strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Aggression turns the screws. Figure it out. If you don't understand, figure it out, or at least try. And until next time, Friday, 7 a.m. Peace. Oh, wait. Wrong video. Hold on. Here we go. I'm dumb.